Hello my lovelies, and welcome to today's video. My name's Alia and I'm so glad you got to pop in. So I thought it would be really cool for the last video of 2020, a day late intentionally so they can be released on the last day, 31st, to sit and reflect on the 3 best videos, wrapping videos of the year. So this is the wrap up to all the wrap ups. I hope you're interested and you'll stick around to watch. Hello lovelies, and welcome to today's midweek wrap up. I'm so happy that you came along to watch this tutorial. Hello lovelies, and welcome to today's video. My name's Alia and I'm so glad you popped in, and welcome to this week's midweek wrap up. My name's Alia and I'm really happy that you got to pop in. The first video I've chosen is a match for a loud monochrome pattern. So here in this video we played with a really fun large sort of, it's a scarf that's really more of a shawl. It's huge, but it's a lovely print. It's really bright and vibrant, and yeah, I just talked a little bit about how loud and vibrant does actually work quite well with monochrome and vibrant. So here we go. So today is another very cool concept. We're going to be talking about how to zhuzh up a monotone look. So I'm wearing purely black and white, but I do have this really loud pattern through my tunic here, and so it presents a sort of challenge. You know, normally if I would wear black and white, I might go for, say, geometric black and white scarf, or maybe a polka dot scarf, something to really accentuate that black and white kind of idea. But when you have this loud pattern, how do you make it work? And can you color block? Can you introduce a new color? So we're going to be talking all about that in today's. You know, just one little part of the tihol is vibing with the whole overall look that you're trying to portray, and that is more than enough. You don't need it to be a perfect match. In fact, sometimes if it's too perfect, it's not nice at all. Okay, so yeah, same thing again here in this particular scarf, reflecting on the fabrics being similar and the overall look of the scarf being similar. So you have two bits of fabric, the top, the tunic and the scarf, both being of a soft print, a soft fabric, and similar enough tones in that they're both neutral and natural kind of occurring colors. So that's why these two probably worked nicely together. Some tones and textures. So this next bit, I'm talking a little bit about the overall pattern playing a role. So that was true of the linen with the green, it was true of the black and white with the big pink flower, and it's true of this silky scarf. Any kind of small jagged prints next to a big flowy print is going to look really kind of contrasting. It's not going to work well together. But having things that are of the same vibe generally works really well. Now, moving on to a more recent video, I did 5 different looks matching Gucci Pre-Fall Runway. So the reason I actually chose this particular release by Gucci is because I more or less hated it. I'll be honest, it wasn't my thing at all. And I'm not saying that I'm right and they're wrong and my style is the style to go for and theirs isn't. Not at all. And there's definitely a place for these types of looks, and then they do get incorporated in different styling throughout, you know, the season that follows by different smaller houses, and that's great. They're trendsetters and that's totally where they should be, and it's lovely. It has its place for sure. But I did choose 5 styles that I could see myself kind of incorporating, and sometimes because of the colors and sometimes because of the patterns and sometimes because of the combinations. You know, each one I chose for kind of a different reason. But what was really fun that came of this was the 5 turbans that I came up with. They are things that I totally could wear, and it didn't even matter that the matching outfit wasn't necessarily 100% my cup of tea. So creating softer ties and softer patterns throughout the scarf so that it would match the kind of English kind of thing going on, in the retro thing going on in the outfit. So I'm just going to fast forward to my little grey number, 8 minutes 23. So yeah, so I've chosen a much thicker fabric here because it's matching that woolen tunic. It takes my mind somewhere else. And I thought it'd be really cute to go heavy tihol with a heavy dress, especially that you would probably choose to wear an outfit like that in a cooler weather setting, and then it makes sense just to have a pashmina if you're going to be wearing warmer clothing. Okay, had to fix my own tickle because it just came loose as I was running around. And I'm actually wearing this exact same scarf in this next look, which is matching that really retro looking outfit. Yeah. So coming back to that previous video that was talking about loud patterns, this is really just incorporating the concept of a loud pattern to go with a loud outfit. So throwing in a new color there, unless it featured a couple of those colors, let's say you had a blue and white scarf or a scarf that was primarily white but maybe had splashes of the blue and the orange on it, and it could really tie that really loud outfit together, or you just went for a plain white with just a feature of a color in a brooch or in a, I don't know, some sort of addition, sash, something like that. You know, let's say you have nothing to match this outfit. This is why something like this is a really good staple to have in your collection, because it pretty much goes with almost anything. Unless you're wearing a pattern, you could pretty much go for this. I've worn this tickle so many times with a polka dot skirt that I own. The skirt has tiny little polka dots through it, all uniform in shape and things like that. And this one's very much got, like, it's got large, it's got smaller, it's all over the shop, and it works. And it works because you've got this loud but consistent pattern going on, and it's really, really cute. In this particular instance, you're introducing that loud moment because you're already wearing a loud outfit. It kind of almost doesn't make sense to then tone it down with the scarf, unless that's what you want to do. By all means do it. But this way you're still kind of matching your overall look. The look is still matching, but the actual fabrics aren't, or the actual colors aren't necessarily, and that's okay. As long as the actual overall kind of style goes, you're not contrasting styles, it will work quite well. You can tell with this video she's got these really large earrings on, and they actually don't make sense in terms of matching the outfit, but stylistically they kind of do, and that's probably where they've gone for that moment. So the last tickle I've gone for is a heavy pashmina again, matching that heavy tartan skirt. First of all, the colors work perfectly, the pattern throughout the tickle happens to work perfectly, and the time of year or weather condition is matching perfectly with both my pashmina and the skirt. And just the outfit itself is a little bit more classic, it's a little bit more subdued comparing to the other things that they had in that release, which is probably what drew my eye to it the most. It's something that's quite wearable. So of course, thanks to one wonderful follower, I have a scarf that matches it quite nicely. But even before that, I mean, navy blue is such a staple color. It's kind of like a neutral that isn't neutral, and that's what's so pretty about things like purples, blues, reds. They're colors that just work, even though they're not your basic colors. Also guys, I know we're quite a ways into this video, but I'm so sorry if you can hear kids in the background. It's because it is school holidays. So they'll be visiting in these videos that are happening over the school holidays. Okay, the next video and the last video we're going to be reviewing or reacting to today is a video that did really, really well. It was released much earlier in the year. It was still before I'd moved the furniture around in this room with my old setup, and horrible lighting, I have to say. I'm really, really glad that the lighting, actually, I'm really, really glad that the lighting condition improved, that's for sure. Look at those harsh lines. But what we talked about here is high buns. So what was really fantastic about that is I often wear a top knot anyway. I'm not today, actually, ironically, but I very, very frequently just knot my hair up at the top. It's just easy, and it's comfortable, and it stays up really well. So it has that lastability about it. And also because it's just so easy to pop something like this on, and then it's a no-nonsense tie. It takes some of the effort off having to twist it in a creative way or stabilize it, or, you know, have it stay easily, because this will do all those things. It creates the volume, it creates the height, it creates the stability because of the fabric it's made from. It's really, really sort of attractive to the scarf. It's sort of not sticks to it, but it sort of stays on it really well, not slippery like hair. And the other thing I talk about a lot in that video is scrunchies and non-slip headbands. These are all really, really great things for an easy tickle. If you want to take the fuss out of it, you have really, really good things underneath. Having said that, most of my tickles don't have any shapewear. Don't necessarily pick a particular scrunchie with it. I'll just wear a hair tie, any hair tie, and my non-slip headbands, I mean, they're more of a feature in the winter time. During summer days or warmer weather, I tend to leave them out. I just go for a fabric like a rayon that's just really easy to control and that just stays. And that's kind of my go-to instead of having to have all these extra things on my head, especially if it's much warmer. Once it gets a bit hotter, then the less that's on there, the better. Because at the end of the day, your feet and your head is where most of the heat escapes. So you don't want to kind of trap that heat in too much when your body's trying to regulate. So it's just, it goes against logic to have too much up there on a very, very hot day. So something to consider. So yeah, lighter fabrics definitely in the heat and less shapewear. But So moving forward in this video, I just showed a few little, you know, tricks and things like that of how to get a shaper if you don't have a bun, so using a spare scarf, and also, you know, how to braid your hair into a scarf. So if you want to check out that video on high buns, really lots of really cool tricks. I think I pretty much opened the book on everything that I do when I want to have a volumed look. There is another video, sort of how to fake volume without a volumizer, and I think I go through some of these things there too, but definitely a few little under the turban secrets. Another really cool thing you can do with the same undergarments is the obvious, well, it's obvious to me anyway, triangle. Look, because you do need some volume underneath a triangle. Simply tie it off and create your little fringe. You can do that, or you can do all kinds of crisscrosses and lots of fun different looks with the triangle. Yeah, so again, utilizing different types of styling techniques to create different types of cover. So sometimes the way you start will indicate better in how you finish. I know that sort of sounds logical, but it doesn't always. Like, you can create, I've just recently, in a recent midweek wrap up, shown that you can easily have a square scarf to start with, and you end up with this pretty typical turban finish, but you just get much more layering, much more kind of cute folds and things like that, and patterns doing it from a square scarf rather than a rectangular scarf. But the overall tying technique is very similar. When you have a triangle to start with, you do get a little bit more variation and a few more things to work with through the front and through the back because of the nature of how the thing is lying on your head, right? So it's definitely something to consider when you're popping your tickle on in the morning. You sort of want to know, will you start on a little bit of an angle, you know, or will you be a little bit asymmetrical? Like, are you going to leave a shorter side and a longer side? You know, is it a bit of a shorter scarf to begin with, in which case you do want to do it off center. That way you get more length at least through one of the sides to tuck away in the end, and a little bit more sort of security in how it sits, and even a little bit more interest in the volume, because you've got this at least one tail to go, you know, do some exciting things with. So that's definitely something to consider. And if you've got a shaper, or there's a particular, like a bobo or something like that, that you like to wear, just suits your face, or it's just a style you like, you also need to consider that with whatever scarf you choose. So for example, if you've got a lot of volume down the front from your shaper, do you really want to be wearing something that's going to be really front heavy? I mean, either take off the shaper or go for something that's maybe a little bit more towards the back, so you have a bit more spread with the volume, if that's the look that you want. So something to consider when you're choosing shapewear and tickle. Next I'm going to make sure that there's no bubbles or anything. So this is a really favorite scarf of mine. I've shown it many times on this channel, and I've actually also worn it with this together because it's got black and white bits through it. Just by grabbing the two ends or something. Having such a huge scarf to play with is so much fun because it just gives you these options. I can flick around the tail, I can flip around this, I can unfold it, I can fold it, I can create veils, I can create tails, I can create twists. It gives so much flexibility. Something small like this, it is limiting, just because there's not that much fabric. But working with a larger scarf is more tricky. Yes, you can do more things with it, but it's way more to handle. Beautiful pleated turban with a really beautiful twist as a point of interest, and a lot of pattern because of the way really carried up the back tail. Love that, love that. Yeah, so more patterns showing because of a different way of tying, flipping instead of flopping and all that sort of stuff makes such a big difference, and it makes it so much more elaborate and pretty and elegant and dressy, you know. The fabric wise, it's nothing special. There's no glitter through it, it's not particularly silky. I mean, it's just, you know, basic scarf material, and it's a really bright scarf, so to match your outfit, you know, there's not too much you can do that way. I mean, it depends what you like, how you like to dress, but without being terribly loud. So to be loud in your design, or to be really elaborate in your design, is one way to really pull off such a loud and large scarf. It's quite fun. This is the exact same look I had on at the beginning of the video, only I've somehow managed to inverse the scarf. I think I've just put it on upside down to where it was originally, because this is a black, pink, green, yellow and white scarf. So then the video finishes off with the same scarf it started with, same tying method, but putting the material down in a different way meant that I ended up with a very different result, which is actually, let me just go back to the beginning, actually a bit more fun in the black, kind of, with more black showing than white. That's what it is with fabric, and that's what it is with anything that's handmade. You will never get the same result twice, not exactly, and that's where half the fun lies. Okay, my lovelies, I hope you enjoyed today's very different video, reflecting on 2020. It has definitely not been without its challenges, and it doesn't matter who you are or where you are. This year has been a bit of a tricky one. This year has had its way of affecting everybody differently, and it depends on who you are, where you are, and what the situation is, of course. But I do hope that next year things will come to a more positive and more loving and more together kind of way. I really do hope that they find a solution for this horrible situation that we find ourselves in, and I hope it's in a positive kind of way, not in a way that will see the world population come to more challenges. I really do hope that this is the end of it, and things will be looking up in the new year. It's been an amazing year. I've been really enjoying being on this channel and having this channel this year. I absolutely adore that the watches are going up. I love that this channel is reaching more people, and I couldn't be happier to keep coming along in 2021 and hopefully finally being able to bring you some more variation in the content with things moving along in the soup kitchen. For those of you who've been here before will know that I've also got a soup kitchen that I co-run, so there's definitely more news on the horizon. I can just feel it. Have a safe and happy New Year's. I hope that you will subscribe and share and like this video. And for more content and to keep up with things, please do head over to Instagram, because there's always more things going on there. Happy New Year, my lovelies, and I can't wait to see you next year. Bye!